We're going to be talking about our drawers now. I've got a project that's already mostly done from a student last term, and I want to show you a couple of the pieces that are going to make this drawer work really well. The first thing you're going to notice when I just pulled the drawer out of the opening is that you're going to notice that it's got a front that matches the species of the rest of the cabinet. The front should be solid wood because it's going to take some abuse. We want to make sure that that holds up for a long time. When I tip this up, what you're also going to notice is that the front is separate from the drawer front. So there's almost two fronts onto the drawer. The sides, the front, and back. Now, if I look at the end of the drawer, and keep in mind, this isn't a perfect example, but we see that there are dados in the sides, and that my front and back are actually narrower than my sides because they sit on top of the bottom, which is a 1/4 inch piece of MDF. So before we cut anything out, we've got to first measure the opening width on my drawer. So I'm going to measure this, and this is right at 11 inches, which is what it's supposed to be. Measure your drawer. If your drawer is not exactly 11 inches, we're going to have to adjust our sizes. Now, to figure out sizes, stay with me. There's a little bit of math here, but I know that you guys can get this. You'll notice that we've got these white drawer slides on the side of our cabinet, and there's a bracket that goes inside of here, and this one fell out a few minutes ago, so it's not there. But there would be a bracket on either side of the cabinet. These brackets need a 1/2 inch of space on each side. So the thickness here is a 1/2 inch, and the thickness here is a 1/2 inch. So if my opening is 11 inches, that means that my drawer needs to be 10 inches wide. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So we have our 11 inches, and a 1/2 inch on each side is drawer slide. So the overall width of my drawer needs to be 10 inches. If this opening is less than 11 inches, go ahead and make your drawer smaller. So if this is 10 3/4 because we've made a mistake along the way, which is okay, we'll have to make our drawer, instead of it being 10 inches wide, it would be 9 3/4. So to figure out the width of your drawer again, it's this opening minus 1 inch. So that's the overall size of the drawer. But let's look at how the door is constructed. If I look at this drawer, I can see that I've got a side, and my front and back. My sides will stay the same size no matter the width of the drawer. So I can make a really narrow drawer and use these same sides. The front and back is what determines how wide the drawer is. So to figure out how big this piece should be, it's another really simple math equation. The overall width minus 1 inch. This is a 1/2 inch material. This is a 1/2 inch material. So the overall width of my drawer needs to be 10 inches. So the overall width of this, or the length of that, is 9 inches. Or you could even go a step further and say the overall, the size of my front and my back of my drawer is this overall width minus 2 inches. I've got a 1/2 inch of drawer slide, a 1/2 inch of drawer side material, and that leaves me with my front and my back. So if this opening is 11 inches, this needs to be 9 inches. If this opening is 10 7/8, this needs to be 8 7/8. If this opening is 11 1/8, this needs to be 9 1/8. Then it will work properly. Now, if you're going to be off, if you're right in between a couple measurements, always be off on the small side. A drawer that's smaller still works okay. We can shim out drawer slides and fix that. But a drawer that's too wide is a really frustrating experience. We actually can't get that drawer to go inside of the opening, and then we have to take it apart and fix it.